probably been complaining that your communication is not effective or that you don't really know what to do in order to engage yourselves in conversations during your long distance relationship. This is a new year and it's time to get rid of all those boring questions and activities. And there's no information, there's no productivity when you engage in this type of information or this type of communication. It's time to step up your game. You've been complaining severally that you and your partner, you're not communicating effectively since you started this long distance relationship. Well, now I've been able to put together a list of productive activities that you and your partner or your spouse can engage in order for your communication to be effective and that will help grow your distance relationship. Enough of all those boring questions. You need to start doing things and saying things that will trigger information, that will bring about growth, and that will help you plan your life together, even with the distance. So make sure you watch this video till the end because there's a lot I have to share. And everything I'm sharing with you today is out of the experience of what I and my husband have been able to engage and that we are still engaging in order to build our family. So stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side of this video. One thing that you can do is that you can pray together. Yes, I said that. You don't necessarily have to be in the same room or the same house before both of you can pray together. Technology has made it so easy that wherever you are on the surface of the earth, you can actually communicate with another person, And when you're communicating with another person, you can do that through social media. You can do that through your phones. So there's nothing stopping you. The only thing that you just have to do is that while your partner or your spouse is here and you're in a different location, both of you can agree to pray concerning a certain area or certain concern that is a burden to you. And then you take out time to just have that prayer together. The Bible says, can two work together except they be agreed? So you have to agree to pray on a particular thing. Also, the Bible also says, when two shall agree on a thing, it shall be established. So there's power in your prayer. Distance is not a barrier to prayers. Distance is not a barrier to what God will do. So one of the activities you want to engage in is praying. Pray committing your marriage into the hands of God. Pray committing your children. Pray committing your relationship to God. Pray committing that thing that is a burden to you or that's a concern to you. There's so much power when both of you come together in agreement. And the greatest partner you can have when it comes to prayer is your spouse. The greatest and the best partner that you can have when it comes to prayer is your wife or your husband. There's so much power in that covenant of being married to someone that you call your wife or husband. And when both of you go together in prayer, there will definitely be results. So I want you to begin to take out time to agree and engage in prayers. Make that one of your activities. There's so much you need to pray for. You need to pray for your family. You need to pray that God protects your spouse. You need to pray concerning the environment and the exposure in the society, that God shields you from anything negative. You need to pray for your children. You need to pray concerning money. You need to pray concerning ministry. In fact, there's so much you need to pray about. And having your partner agree with you in prayer will go a long way. So that's tip number one. Prayer is a necessity and it should be one of the activities that both of you agree to participate in together. The next productive activity that I want both of you to engage in together, even with the distance, is that both of you can read a book together. You see, reading is important. It helps grow your mind. It helps grow your intellect. Now, when both of you decide to read together, you can either choose to pick a particular book or a particular topic or material to read about or read on. And when you begin to read, you begin to exchange ideas. You begin to talk to each other about what you've learned. You begin to have a book review together with each other. When you constantly practice activities like that, reading becomes fun. You can decide to study a particular chapter of the Bible together and then you discuss on it. When you begin to do things like this, it becomes fun to share ideas. And you don't just share ideas, you grow with the idea that you share. This can be a fun activity that both of you engage in. And before you know it, you're not just building your relationship, you are building your mental capacity on areas that are important to you, on areas that are important to your relationship. You can decide to read books on marriage. You can decide to read books on parenting. You can decide to read books on relationship, growing your relationship, sustaining your home, overcoming temptations. You can decide to read books on growing your spiritual capacity. There's a lot to read about. So just pick out a particular book and say, babe, I want us to read this book this month. I want us to talk about it at the end of the day. Each chapter we are going to review, and at the end of each review, you get to realize that you've exchanged ideas and you've even learned from each other, because truth is, your mindset, your mode of understanding or perspective to life can be different. However, the more you study, you begin to realize that your thoughts are aligned together and you're exchanging ideas with each other. So reading is not boring. Reading is informative. Reading is educative. Reading helps your mind grow and you begin to understand things from the perspective of the writer or the authors of the books that you read or the materials that you read. Another fun activity that you want to engage in is that you can decide to watch a movie together. You can decide to watch a movie together. You can decide to listen to a message together. You can decide to listen to an audio record, whatever. Just make sure that there's a particular time that you decide that, okay, maybe at some point, what I and my husband usually do when we find that there's a new series that we've been following on YouTube and that series is out, if my husband gets to see it first, because most times my husband that gets to see it first, we watch Christian content on YouTube, and when he sees that there's a new episode on that series that has been released, he just downloads it immediately, and then he lets me know that, okay, this episode is out, let's go ahead and watch it. And by the time we watch it, when we get back to talk about it, we begin to talk about happened in that movie and what we learned from it, the way it has helped us in terms of our spiritual life and all. Most in fact, the movies we watch are centered around Christianity and building Christian homes, because that is our area of focus, that is our area of ministry. So when it comes to watching movies, we know that there are certain areas that we are focused on. So if you and your partner decides that, okay, we're going to watch this particular movie, just go on the net and check out a series and watch it. Sometimes you can watch it first of all and then refer or recommend that your partner also does the same. And when your partner watches that same movie, both of you can come together and talk about it. Babe, what do you think about that movie I asked you to watch? Let's talk about it. What did you learn? What do you think we can relate to our own family or relate to our own scenario? And mind you, when I say you should watch movies or listen to messages and all, you have to be careful what you listen to. There are so many things out there, so you have to carefully select what you watch or what you listen to. And by the time you're discussing it, it should be able to add more value to you, add more value to your relationship, add more value to your life spiritually and physically, and of course help build your mental capacity, because there's no point watching a movie that will not add value to you. So those are the things you should target when you decide to watch a movie, listen to a message or audio and material together. Do you know that it is possible to plan out a series of activities that both of you will engage in when you get to see each other, even while you're still distant? Yes, that's very possible. And that's one thing you should do. Have it as an itinerary. I don't know just have it as an itinerary that, babe, when you come back, these are things I want us to do. This is what I want us to engage in. Maybe we're going to go to the cinemas. We're going to see a movie. We're going to see my family. We're going to take the kids out. We're going to go take a family picture. One of the things that I made sure that I and my husband engaged in when he came some months back early in the year was that I made sure that we went to take a family picture, and that really stood out for me, and it really meant a lot to us, because even up till now, when we have certain things we want to talk about, those are pictures that we refer to, and I'm looking forward that we're going to have many more of that, because by God's grace that's going to be possible. So have a plan. Just begin to talk about it. When you come back in the next few months, these are the activities I think we can engage in. What do you think we should do? What would you like us to do as a family? What have you seen that you want us to emulate? Or where do you want us to go to? Do you think we should take a break, go on a vacation? Do you think we should just take the kids out? Or do you think both of us need to spend some time and have a retreat together, or go for some revival, counseling, whatever it is that you need to do? And when you're planning these activities, look around you, look at your family. What are the things that you need to put in place? What are the things that you know will really, really impact your home, impact your relationship positively? And plan your activities around that. Plan your programs or the things you want to do around that. And this is not something that has to be so expensive. It doesn't have to be so cost intensive that you need to spend everything you have on it. No, just something that will help both of you spend quality time together, and even as a family, and appreciate each other's company. Because one of the things that I realized that distance does in relationships is that if you're careful enough to realize it, it helps you appreciate the fact that your partner was around you at some point in time and now they are no more. So whenever you're looking forward to having your spouse come back home, it's a moment that you really, really cherish and you would hold dear. So when times like that comes, you want to spend every minute of it. One thing that gets to happen with me and my husband is that when he comes home, he's always having programs to attend, and sometimes I'll just be like, see, you have few months, days to spend with us. Please just give us this time. Even though it doesn't work completely that he can't stay with us every hour and every minute, we will definitely go out. I will definitely, we always try to see how we can spend that time together, spend time holding each other, embracing each other, having our family put together, and making sure that we are enjoying the moment, even though we have misunderstandings, because definitely we have misunderstandings. There are times that things will happen, but we try as much as possible to close that gap and appreciate the fact that this person is at home with me, we're together, and we need to maximize the moment. So plan your activities ahead of time. Last but not the least, that I will encourage you to do when you're communicating or trying to grow your long distance relationship is that you should plan your life and future together. Guys, this is important. There's nothing as helpful and refreshing as planning your life and future together. It's important. Whether you're married, whether you're still intending, make sure that you have the picture of your future at the back of your mind. And the more you constantly talk about it, the more you find that your actions will begin to align towards that thought or that idea that you have already created for yourselves. Don't just waste time talking about things that are not necessary or things that are not important. Whenever you get the opportunity to talk to each other, I know that you don't always have to sound serious. There are times you're exhausted, but at almost every point in time, make sure that you begin to put plans in place towards your future, towards having a better life for yourself, having a better life for your children, having a better life for your family. What are the things that you want to do when it comes to your business, when it comes to your ministry? At first, you might not get the picture clear, but the more you constantly share these ideas with each other, you begin to see that your iron begin to sharpen iron. Your ideas will begin to resonate with each other, and you begin to plan your activities in line with these things that you've begin to talk about. So whenever you have conversations, one of the things that can trigger or spark up other conversations is when you talk about your plans for the future. Because both of you begin to lay your ideas on the table, and you begin to weigh the options, you begin to see and reason with each other how these things can be possible or how you can make it work. What are the things that needs to be put in place? What are the efforts that you need to put in to make sure that you see these things work? So it's important that you talk about it.